All right, everybody, welcome in. This is your Sunday afternoon random reading. For those who need to hear this message, if the title drew you here, then this is definitely for you. I'm not going to look at, or I'm not really talking about any zodiac signs, but if they do show up in the reading, they'll be part of the extended. So if that's you or the person you're dealing with, the extended will have that information. I also this week, thank you for all of your requests. Some of you were not able to last time jump on the multiple revenue stream class we have going. So if you want to create something sustainable for yourself, there's a link below. That's a live class this week. Okay, so that's a good place to get your questions answered. All right, let's see where we go. Answering the call. No doubt about that. Transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. That is one of my favorite cards of the deck. In the flow, everything is smooth sailing. So this is a new cycle. And I know, because I've been doing these readings all year, that some of you, have been having a challenge with a cycle either not wanting to end or us not putting an end to a cycle, staying in that cycle for fear of what's next, or not really sure what's coming through the door. So kind of holding on energy, but I feel like that's ending as we get into Libra season. Libra season this week is going to be very beautiful, balancing energy. We have the Equinox later this week, and that is going to be balancing energy. So I think I might do something special for the Equinox. So stick around. This week should be very interesting. All right. And balancing. Page of Wands underneath. Seven of Cups, death. There's the transformational energy again, the Scorpio energy. Since we have North Node in Taurus, the South Node is in Scorpio. And for those of us who are resisting change too much, that's why the cycles keep repeating. Okay, so I think it is about a little bit of confusion about not sure what comes next. All right, or it's like an unknown, and that might be a little bit off-putting or anxiety invoking for some of us. Nine of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Wands. See the nines here? Two of Cups, King of Cups, Two of Pentacles. Wow, there's a fly in here. Seven of Pentacles. Right? So this is very much, this is the energy of kind of, I'm going to say resting on laurels. And the Two of Pentacles here of like staying in that cycle, staying in that cycle, staying in that cycle. So some of you could be meeting somebody new, potentially a Scorpio, or connecting with a Scorpio in a different way or a deeper way. I do feel like there is multiple options for partnerships or for love. There's multiple. So it could be about staying with a situation or staying on the path that you're on, right? Page of Wands, or being inspired to go down a different path. And right now, this is where the decision making is happening. Okay. So I do feel like something new is wanting to enter in. And it has the energy, so it may not be a new person, but it has the energy of, I've been pounding away at doing things this way. All right. So what's the definition of insanity? Do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. This week, this reading is for somebody who finally is breaking that pattern. Okay. I'm going to transform. I'm not going to just choose. This is almost like, this card for me makes me feel like you're being offered some things, but that may not be all the options. So somebody or some situation in your life is presenting you with some options. But the reason you're staying stuck is that's not all the choices that are available. There are more choices than that. Someone may be offering you this amount of choices. I don't know, some of you who've worked in marketing and sales, some of you have been part of discussions with clients or whatever. I don't know why this is coming up, but where they tell you to only offer limited choices because people get overwhelmed when they have too many options, right? That people just tend to stop. And I feel like what's been happening, and somebody or someone in your life could be narrowing the choices for their, number one, maybe for their own comfort. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, maybe for their own comfort, or for like, this is their comfort zone. So when we have Taurus North Node and Scorpio South Node is comfort zone. And if we're holding on to the energy of Scorpio, which is really about transformation, but this is sort of like, yeah, I want choice, but it's got to look a certain way. It's got to be a certain way. I have to see all of the options and everything like that. And I just feel like the universe is saying to you right now, there's so much more that you are not seeing about a current situation. And that's what's keeping you stuck. Okay. So you're answering the call for something new. We don't see what's coming in the door, right? She's standing at the door and she's like ready, but we're not seeing what's on the other side of that door. So it's almost like you have to, when we're talking about Abraham Hicks and we're talking about manifestation, you almost have, well, not almost, there's no almost about it. The way you manifest is to be in the new energy. And so that energy is drawn to you from out here in the plane, right? If we're talking quantum, on the quantum plane, there's no time. So you can be this energy and bam, you can be the energy of love and bam, love is here. You can be the energy of abundance and boom, abundance is here. Because the confusion is when we're trying to manifest in the 3D, we have a lot of, and that's a lower vibration of transformation, is trying to be the I don't know, the naysayer, but sort of like, I'll believe it when I see it. How many times have you seen that? That is not manifestation. That is not. That is a coping mechanism that keeps people from being disappointed, or keeps people feeling like they're in control of a situation. Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And then when it comes around, they're like, okay, I'm pleasantly surprised. But if it doesn't come around, then they're no worse off, right? And so on some level, real manifestation is asking you to be open and vulnerable and have hope. And that is scary to some people, because you're opening yourself up for disappointment or whatever. And so I feel like the transition is being like, there's energy of transformation. Maybe you're asking to get out of this cycle. And so, yeah, it's coming, but then it's like, oh, like the law of unintended consequences, like, oh, but I didn't want it to look like that. And I didn't want it to show up like that. And, can it be, not at 5 a.m.? Can it show up at 2 p.m. in the afternoon? Because I'm a little more awake then. And can it look like this? And like, you're squashing all of the universal magic out of a situation. And that's what I feel like has been going on for a while. 9 of Wands here in the middle. It's almost like the inspiration and the spontaneity has gone out of it, because there is a control. There's a feeling of, I need to control this more than I want it. But here's the thing. The 2 of Cups and the King of Cups here, there is an opportunity for a new partnership, a new beginning, an end to this 9 cycle without going down the 10 cycle. Okay, so some of you know, some of you study numerology, and when we talk about numerology, we're talking about the frequency and the vibration of numbers. Numbers have frequency and vibration. 9s are a closing cycle, an end to a cycle. And so in tarot, we have a 10 card, right? We have the 10 of Swords in this case, and the 10 of Wands. Both of those things, all of the 10s are about, like, we've gone one too far, okay? And so the 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So that the beginning of the cycle is happening soon. So when we get into the 10s, my feeling is that that's when a lot of surrender happens. Like, we feel it. We feel like, okay, this is a time to reap the benefits of this cycle. This is it, right? The 10 of Cups, the 10 of Wands, harvesting kind of feeling. 10 of Swords is sort of like, I kind of ignored my anxiety. And so 10 of Swords is like the awareness of betrayal. It goes one past. So like, if you have, I don't know what I was watching earlier this weekend, but this was kind of an interesting thing that I wanted to bring to the table here. If you have anxiety, or if you have some kind of buried feeling, resentment is your friend. It's like the canary in the coal mine. It's saying to you, hey, warning, warning. If you feel resentment about something, that is something that's out of balance. And now that we're in Libra time period, these things are getting balanced. Okay. And that's a beautiful energy here. And as we move towards Scorpio, real transformation can happen. We can fully reap the benefits of everything we've done and make choices at the same time to move forward without getting too stuck in this leaning on our laurels, resting on our laurels kind of thing. 2 of Pentacles and 7 of Pentacles. I'm feeling like there's a couple of options. 3 of Cups, Hermit, 5 of Cups, and the Page of Swords. So, you know, even if you do something that's really smart for yourself and wise, you may incur some loss. And I think this is about, I want what I want, but I don't want to get out of my comfort zone to do it. And so I can't have anything go away. I need to have everything stay the same, have my days stay the same, but have the results be different. That's not a thing. That's not a thing. There is no way to create a new vibration or a new frequency without an awareness that doing the same thing is the same frequency as before. You can fool yourself being like, all right, well, I'm going to rearrange the deck chairs here, or I'm going to, you know, essentially do the same thing. It might look different to people, but the outcome is the same. So, for example, if you are wanting to sell, you are wanting to launch a business, you're wanting to do things, but yet you spend, so let's say we've spent a whole week on, if you're going to start a YouTube thing or whatever, which is what I teach, if you start a YouTube thing, oh, the camera and the lighting and where is it going to be and all that, you've spent a week doing that. Okay. And there's still no YouTube channel launched. You gotta make the video. You can't this week then turn back around and go, okay, well, I've set that up. Because I think people think that you have to set things up 100% before you do anything that's going to be public. And I think it's a procrastination for a lot of people that, hey, there's certain things that do need to get set up. Don't get me wrong. But if we keep doing that kind of work, if we keep doing the setup, if we keep researching and reading and researching again and researching again, at a certain point, you've got to go. You've got to put action. You got to make a video and you got to upload it to YouTube. At a certain point, you have to do the work of that. And this, I feel like there's been a lot of like dreaming and hoping and research and, hey, what's the idea and how can we get it in place and stuff. There's certain behaviors or certain actions that do move things forward, and certain ones you just spin, right? And like, you know, because you could research forever. And that still does not have the same impact as actually making a video and putting it up on YouTube. Now, do you need to know what you're doing before you do that? Sure. But let's not sit in that spinning energy too long. Okay? That's what's being asked of you here. And so I feel like there might be the reason for the standing in the doorway and not asking in the person, right? If we're stuck in that, is that this is like things are going to change. And sometimes when you do things, when you make change, there's something called the law of unintended consequence. And if you've been kind of smacked around by that, like, oh, I didn't realize that me saying this to this person, even though it furthered my desire to get from point A to point B, there was all these unintended consequences about it. So I'm smart about that now. I see that there can be those things happening. So what I feel like is being asked of you here is get your ducks in a row, but then you got to put them in the water. Okay, get the ducks in the row. But we're going to move because otherwise we're going to stand still. You can only come so far doing that before you actually have to act. And so this is like standing still. So whether this is like, okay, a relationship I have needs to change. I need to have some kind of conversation. But if I'm not doing that, if I'm falling back into old patterns and I'm not really implementing anything new, or I'm not even having the conversation about implementing anything new, sometimes people have conversations about, hey, this has got to change. And then they let things go right back to status quo before the conversation, because for both people, there was some kind of comfort zone there. You have to change your behavior, and that might be uncomfortable. You have to change what we're doing in order to get something new. So let's continue on here. There might be a message here for Virgo. I see Virgo here and I see Scorpio. So if you're not Virgo or Scorpio, don't worry. I'm going to pull some cards on that, but it might be the person you're dealing with. So link is below. Let's see where we go. See you over there. All right, I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.